Okay.
Okay, so welcome to Say What in the Street. This is Conversations with Say What. I am your host, Chivonne SayWhat. Today we have a great guest. I'm really excited to talk to Majesty today, talk about PUSH Ministry and everything that they are doing in our community and in the community in general. So let's welcome Majesty and PUSH Ministry to Say What.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having us.
Absolutely. So just to get started, can you let the viewers know who you are, where you're from, or where you both are from, and how you got started?
Okay, great. Well, my name is Majesty Gale. I'm half of the founding team here at PUSH Ministry. My wife is the co-founder as well. I'm from Florida originally, but I've been here since about 2007. So, and here is Atlanta. So I call kind of Atlanta home. All of my children were born here. I kind of grew my career here. So I see Atlanta as home. And my wife, she's from Nashville, Tennessee, and moved out here I'd say somewhere about 6-7 years ago after finishing up college. And yeah, we met about 5 years ago or whatnot, and kind of just hit it off and started working on projects immediately. There was a lot of synergy there, not only in just what we saw that the community needed, but also in just putting the action behind it. Her background is in marketing. She's great at getting exposure, on different things. That's what she does. And my background is in, doing deals, raising capital, and also real estate development. So we kind of put all of those things together and created PUSH Ministry as a nonprofit organization that would actually provide resources to the communities, to the Black community specifically. We don't have a lot of access to resources in our communities, and we saw that as a problem that we could, provide a solution for.
So your story with your wife is not a typical story. You guys actually met on, what was it, Tinder?
Yeah, we met on Tinder. Yes. It was an interesting situation. I mean, a lot of these platforms are just different ways for people to meet people. But I didn't get on Tinder looking for my wife, but I was blessed to find her there. And she was just, you just know when you know, or whatnot. At least for me. So that's kind of how it went. So, I wouldn't say everybody should just go out and try to find their partner on Tinder. But, it's funny story is that we had a family member after we got together, went and found their match on Tinder and got married as well. So, maybe there's something to it.
I don't know. See, now they got the that Tinder swindler, but I always celebrate Black love. So
Yep. I think she just joined in too.
Yeah, I think so. Her mic is muted, but I don't see her video.
I think she may just be checking in. I know she's with the.
Hi, I am. I'm checking in. And I don't know, how much I'll be able to participate today, but I just wanted to join in if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining.
Mm-hmm.
So to continue, you were saying that you saw the need in our community. There wasn't a lot of resources.
Yeah.
When you say resources, what do you mean specifically?
Specifically, I mean, for the most part, it boils down to access to capital at the end of the day, because, you need the funding in order to get the things that are needed for the community. You may want to mute your mic. Okay. But it's access to capital. When you look at education, when you look at home ownership, when you look at health, maybe farming or agriculture, it all boils down to access to capital or whatnot. So that's kind of what we focus on specifically, is making sure that, movers and shakers within our community have access to capital, not only access to capital, but also access to fair capital, because typically there's a lot of unfair capital in our communities when we do get it, as far as having high interest, high fees, different things like that. So we just wanted to kind of level the playing field there as far as access to capital, and also just training on how to manage, your whatever organization that you're running.
Why do you think that is, that in our communities that the interest rates and everything else is so much higher, but then they say that our properties, our homes are worth less?
Man, we can go deep, into that, but it's, in my opinion, it's a system that's just in place. It's pretty obvious. Banks, have been caught red-handed redlining, which is, looking at certain places on the map and saying, we're not going to loan money out here. And what they'll say is that it's more risky in these areas, like we're more of a risk. So that's why they have to charge more and be, less fair or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's a systematic approach to not providing the resources necessary to build, to build any type of real independence. And that's something that a challenge that we face, and that we'll have to do something about in order to build anything worthwhile.
So tell us a little bit more about PUSH Ministry.
Okay, cool. Well, PUSH Ministry is, once again, a nonprofit that we launched specifically. And we wanted to launch it as a nonprofit because nonprofits have a lot of access to resources that for-profits don't, in the form of grants and different things like that. And grants are great because you don't have to pay them back typically. So, it's a great way to, build any type of program or get something done without having to worry about the financial aspect of it. And so that was the main reason we started PUSH Ministry. And PUSH stands for persist until success happens. So it's more about, never stopping and never taking no as an answer when you know that what you're doing is the right thing to do. And that's kind of where we are. So we're not, religious in the sense of, we're doing sermons and things like that, but we do feel that we minister to the community. So that's how we got PUSH Ministry. We have several programs that we've launched out of PUSH Ministry, all surround around community development and community building, specifically in, distressed areas that most people would call war zones, or, like they got bandos or whatever. Those types of areas are where we target. And we look to help out with the basic needs, from clothing to food. But we highlight real estate specifically because real estate is where all of the power is. In being a citizen or in being anywhere, real estate is where everything starts. You have to have real estate before you can have an office for your business or a home for your child or anything. You want to drill for oil, you need real estate. Everything goes back to real estate. So that's why we focus there and trying to make sure that we create homeowners and give them the tools and the resources that can help them get to that point. So that's what PUSH Ministry is about: community building with a strong emphasis on real estate.
Okay. So you guys don't just build homes, you build affordable homes.
Yep.
That's really important. And not only are you building them, but you even employ your own contractors as well, right? You allow other companies to come in and bid. Yep.
And we can say this, it's not illegal to do this, but we give Black businesses and vendors a preference. So they actually, we give an incentive for Black, vendors, and that's usually the opposite. So that's something that we pride ourselves on, and that's something that we do work with the local organizations and also all the way up to the federal level in order to make that happen. So there's a lot of contracting opportunities with us for different Black contractors, and we like being that hub that can do that.
I like that. So when you guys are getting your contractors and you're employing, giving preference to Black people, when you're trying to get resources from the government and other communities, do you ever feel some kind of pushback because they know that you're specifically targeting, people of color?
Yeah, see, that's the beautiful thing about the structure of a nonprofit, because you're actually incentivized as well as a nonprofit to provide resources to the Black community. They know that the Black community is starved of a lot of resources. They're aware of that. And they want to get those resources to the community. Sometimes they don't always know how. A lot of times they just can't relate. So they tap into people like us who can relate, who come from humble beginnings, who are still in the community in order to distribute those types of resources. So we actually are incentivized to focus on the Black community, because the Black community has, honestly, I mean, if we're being frank, the most need out of any demographic that I'm aware of. So, you know, everybody's not happy about it. I won't say that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we have the most need.
I mean, absolutely. Can you explain to the viewers, for those that don't know, exactly what gentrification is and how that affects our community?
Yeah, and I can even give you some stories, because that's how we got into real estate on a income basis only. It was you know, a career move, and we were just looking to make some money. And we started out by locating properties for larger firms, and these firms typically were not minority owned. So we saw in real time what was going on as far as gentrification. We would go into these areas and speak to these sellers on behalf of these companies and see what was going on. And typically they were, you know, purchasing the properties from, you know, usually someone's grandmother or something like that. And then kicking out whoever it is that's renting the property, and then, you know, fixing it up, raising the price. And then now you have a new community that the people that were in the community can no longer afford. So we saw that in real time, and that's why we went off on our own, because we just didn't feel good about that cycle. And we also saw that there were other ways to not only fix up the community, because the community does need to be beautified, but it's more about changing the community out. That's the part that isn't necessary. We think the people that, you know, grew up in the community, or even just, you know, want to live in that community, should be able to benefit from it being beautified as well and not be pushed out. But that's what's happening in a lot of places right now. And I'm sure everybody's seeing with these rent prices and home prices, you know, and I feel everybody's pain, especially being in real estate. I see it in real time. But that's what's happening. And that's one thing that we are working hard to combat, is to create communities that are affordable within these areas that we are comfortable in. So we don't have to be pushed out to, you know, Woodstock and LaGrange and all, you know, the outskirts and everything like that. But yeah, gentrification and just overall taking over our communities has been a major issue for us, and we're hoping to change that.
Well, I hope you guys do too. Actually, I hope we can all get involved, really.
Yeah.
So when you're building communities, what type of communities are you building? Because I know it's not just your typical looking houses as well.
Yeah, we do have a focus on sustainable properties. We're kind of innovative with our builds. We like to call ourselves the Tesla of home building. So we're forward thinking. At the moment, we're doing container homes pretty heavily. They're very popular. Containers are in heavy supply or whatnot. 99% of them come out of China. They're shipping stuff over here, and we don't have anything to ship anywhere else because we no longer produce anything. So we have a lot of shipping containers sitting around. So we repurpose those as actual structures or whatnot. So, and we also do a lot with energy efficiency, because that's where a lot of things are going now. You see with the electrical vehicles and everything like that. So we incorporate that into ours as well. So, you know, that's kind of what we focus on, like a modern look with the innovative, you know, kind of tech twist to it. So yeah, that's what we do.
And you have tiny homes too, right?
Yeah, tiny homes. That's the great thing about containers. You know, they're like Legos. You can build them up to be as big as the Taj Mahal, or we even have one that's only one container. It's a tiny home, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. But, you know, when you can get the price point down to where it makes sense, you know, we can do tiny homes for as low as, anywhere between about $70,000 to $80,000, and that can help make someone a homeowner as compared to the median price of $400,000 in Atlanta. So, tiny homes are a great solution for some people that don't need, as much space or whatnot.
So for somebody that wanted to buy a home, how would they go about doing that? Because they make it seem like it's so hard for us to get houses.
And I will be honest, as far as it's getting more difficult than it has been over the past maybe year, 2 years, just in 2022, but it's not impossible. The first place that you will want to start is with your credit. That's gonna be a big part there. And nothing's wrong with having credit issues. Everybody, has situations at some point in life. It's just a matter of taking care of it. So don't let that stop you. But once you feel confident that you have a decent score, I would say at least a 600 or a 620 or better, you should start working with the mortgage broker or an agent to see what you can actually afford, what the bank will give you, and kind of reverse engineer from there. And then they'll let you know, hey, you're approved for up to this amount. And now you can go look for some houses. And a big hindrance for a lot of people are the down payments, which is a big amount. It can be a big amount, 20%, up to 20%. But there's a lot of down payment assistance programs. And that's one of the things that we specialize in. And we also bring to our projects. We partner with the city of Atlanta. And there's other organizations as well that offer a good amount of assistance for down payment, up to $20,000 that you can put towards your down payment if you qualify. And most people within the Black community qualify for most of the programs that exist. So, it's really honestly a matter of taking advantage of these programs. I've seen a lot of our people sometimes, I don't want to say be too prideful or whatnot, or even just kind of afraid of the process, but we're owed a lot, and we have to take advantage of all the programs and things that exist that help us get into positions to build our foundations. But I would say down payment assistance, look into that, but also look into your credit, get with the broker, a mortgage broker, and they'll basically help you get a mortgage that works for your budget and your credit and everything like that.
Where would somebody go to find some of these resources?
Online. Zillow's a good source. You can find agents. Google's the easiest place, definitely online. If somebody was looking to work with us specifically, they could go to our website at evohaven.com, and they would see information for our brokerage that we work with, and also for our preferred lenders. But there's a lot of them online. Just search for it, make some calls. They'll be happy to speak to you and give you some information. Speak to a few of them and just see, what they say and what makes sense for you. But online, you'll find a wealth of resources online.
Can you explain to us what Evo Haven is?
Evo Haven is Evo. That word, you'll see a pattern in our branding, which stands for evolution, and kind of speaks to what you were talking about as far as the gentrification issue. The issue isn't fixing up the area; it's fixing it up and then displacing the people that were there. So we still want to evolve these areas. We want them to evolve. Or whatnot, but we want people to stay in them. And Haven, is a play on the word safe haven, or whatnot. So we're just looking to build a safe haven for our people, our community, somewhere where we feel comfortable knowing that we had a hand in building it, knowing that we'll have a hand in sustaining it and maintaining it. And that, this is our home. There's a Chinatown, there's all these different things. So we feel like it's a good time for us to build these things for ourselves and hopefully build ourselves up within these communities as well.
And you have a cryptocurrency?
Yeah, we did launch a crypto token as well, Evo Coin, or whatnot. I actually have some fintech in my background. I was in Bitcoin years ago, or whatnot. So it's interesting to see it kind of be popular now. But yeah, we launched a coin. or whatnot, and we'll be building on that soon, but it's backed by real estate. So as far as I know, we're the only coin that exists right now. So I don't know if you know much about crypto, but it's kind of taken a pretty big dip from when it was up. But for example, ours is backed by real estate, so it didn't take a dip in the same way. And we did this to show the power of real estate, not necessarily versus crypto, but there's no asset class that has outperformed real estate. The most millionaires come from real estate, and most people's net worth comes from real estate. So we thought it would be pretty cool to put them together, combine crypto with real estate, and that's what we did. So we'll have more information coming out with that soon, but it is available now for purchase, and we've had some great supporters when it comes to that as well. So thank you all for that.
So will somebody in the future be able to use that to?
Yeah, and see, that's the you putting the master plan together. Yeah. So
that's dope.
I'm sure you've heard about Akon and his city and everything like that, you know. So yeah, we're looking at building out these communities and being able to have the Evo coin be used in these communities or whatnot. So yeah, we're looking at it from a macro point of view, and I see you kind of putting it together.
Yeah, I love it. I do. Can somebody can actually purchase it now, invest in it, and
yeah, they can buy it now or whatnot. It's on the market, on the crypto markets or whatnot, on the Binance Smart Chain. But we haven't really pushed it as much. We just kind of wanted to do an official launch. We did a soft launch, but we'll do an official launch soon once we just have a little bit more figured out as far as communicating everything to everyone and everything behind that. But yeah, the idea is for our communities to be able to use this currency, and we also have an app as well that will connect these communities socially. So it's all about connecting everything and keeping it within our community. We just don't feel like there's any places where we can go and have conversations without having, the external, or whatnot. So we wanted to change that, and we're building a community physically, digitally, all the above, so that we can have our own safe space to exist and to be great.
Nice. It sounds like Kanye needs to take a page out of y'all book.
Oh yeah, that's my guy, Kanye.
Yeah. So, how has the pandemic affected your business?
Sheesh, man, how hasn't it? The pandemic has been tough on everybody, and I don't think we talk about it enough. But you really have to be able to adapt in business right now very quickly, because there's a lot of things that we don't control that's happening. So what you thought may happen next month may not. There's some trips that I had planned, and the level got raised and I can't go anymore. Or whatnot, and different things like that. There's supply chain issues where we can't get materials that we thought we would be able to get. So you just have to be able to adapt and be comfortable adapting on the fly like that. So I would say that's probably been the biggest thing for us. Also, the work environment has changed. Like work from home and hybrid and everything like that is really popular now. I don't think that is going back anytime soon. So, that's been something to adapt to, because you want to keep the same synergy and communication as if you were face-to-face in the office. But, because of the pandemic, people don't want to literally be face-to-face. So you have to find a good middle point in between. And we've been real fortunate. We're kind of tech savvy. You got to be tech savvy now. Like now we're on a Zoom call and this is the norm. A lot of people that aren't tech savvy have issues with things like Zoom and using the different platforms. So it's just about being able to adapt to situations, and that we've been able to do that, and hopefully everybody will be able to do that as well, because things are changing very quickly.
Earlier you stated, and it's also a known fact, that real estate has made more millionaires than any other industry. Mm. How could somebody start investing in real estate?
Well, when I came to real estate, I didn't have anything. And same thing with Elise. We both came to it we didn't have anything. So we're testaments as far as that you can come to real estate with nothing. Now, when you do have nothing, you got to have a lot of work ethic. That's when you do have nothing, because you're going to have to make up for that with sweat equity, or whatnot. But in real estate, there's several ways that you can get involved without having money. One is, I would say, don't sleep on the construction industry, just as far as being somebody being a skilled tradesperson. They make a lot of money, and they'll be in demand for a long time. And it's very easy to get on the job training and to get a good, hourly wage job working in construction. Also, wholesaling real estate, which is kind of what we started out doing, which is just finding properties for people like myself who are in position to buy them, and being in the middle or whatnot, and making a fee there. You can make good money there. You can make six figures in your first year doing that. And also if you're becoming an agent, if you're able and interested in becoming an actual licensed agent, go take the test or whatnot, a few $100, and you can have your license. And now you plugged into a network of opportunities, and you sell other people's properties, or you help other people buy properties and make a commission like that. So there's a lot of ways to enter the door of real estate. Once you get there, most likely you're going to want to, go up. I want to buy some homes. I want to do this or whatnot, which is great. But to get started, those are three ways to get your foot in the door for less than, $500. But it is going to take some work.
Right, absolutely. So you are a cash buyer.
Yes, by all means, please send me your deals. We buy a lot of properties, so send me your deals, please, by all means.
Okay, I remember that, because I be dipping in that wholesale myself. So yeah.
Great, perfect.
Okay, so I want to play a quick game with you, and I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, and I'm gonna let you get out of here. Okay. Term housewarming comes from burning mortgage paperwork.
I'm gonna say true. That sounds like crazy enough to be true.
It actually is.
Wow.
It actually is. Yeah. Because interest rates were so high when they finally finished with it all. They started burning the mortgage papers, and I think some places you might see an eagle, and they post the eagle out saying that the mortgage was paid off. So yes.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Okay, multiple choice. At the end of 2020, Black home ownership was at what percent? A, 37%, B, 44%, or C, 50%?
I want to say 37.
B, 44.
44? Oh, that's good. That's good.
U.S. Census Bureau.
That was 2020?
2020.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's better than I thought. That's good to hear. We got to get it higher, but that's good to hear.
And last one. You have to pay taxes for crypto gains. True or false?
You're supposed to, yes. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think people know that.
No, they're not thinking about that. They're only thinking about the money that they made. The taxes are real, guys. Like, be ready for the taxes. They're coming for.
So I want to talk a little bit about home ownership. So as we just learned, it was 44% at the end of 2020. But from what I've read, that was actually like a decrease.
Yes.
From like the 50s and the 60s, where home ownership was at like 60%. Mm-hmm. And now we have like a 30% racial gap growth. Where do you think went wrong to get from 60% to 44?
It's I'll give two-part answer because there's blame on both sides, but there were some things that happened outside of our power that, took a lot of the home ownership out of our community. One of the things that happens is when someone dies or whatnot in probate. I've seen some pretty ugly situations where the property didn't get passed down the way that it should have. And sometimes the state ends up with it. I've even seen where they do a type of back charge for all of the medical bills that the person has and takes the home at death. I've seen that a few times. So there's some games, legal type games that they play to take the ownership out of the hand of the person that died. So we lost a lot of property in that way. But we also stopped valuing home ownership as much, in my opinion. So I think that was a big part of it. Most people were buying homes at a younger age and kind of starting families and everything like that. So I think that played a role as well. And, I also see it heading in the direction of where, there'll be a lot more renters in the future, just because of the difficulties with purchasing a home right now, or at least what they're telling people and what we're seeing as far as low inventory and things like that. So, we have to fight to keep our place there, when we have to be very intentional about it.
Yeah. How do you think that we as a people can improve home ownership?
I would say any type of group economics where we could get on the same page as far as areas would be great. I've seen a lot of migration to some different areas when it comes. Are you in Atlanta?
I used to be. I'm in Florida now.
You're in Florida. Okay, great. Okay. But I would say some form of group economics and just community building all together, because at that point, then we can kind of control a larger piece of real estate through our community efforts and kind of drive values and things like that in that way. Instead of being so spread out. Outside of that, I would just say as well, we just have to really be intentional about owning real estate. And owning it and then bringing it to the table for community efforts in that sense. There's a lot of things that are making it difficult for us to purchase homes right now. So we just have to be intentional about it and come together. We have to unite and use our power and our strength there. That's something that, we could do more of, and we could take, examples from other cultures when it comes to that. So, there's some things that we can do. I won't say it won't be a challenge, but it's possible.
So because they're making everything so difficult, obviously there's been an increase in homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed with your company, you guys have been a little proactive. You've been taking abandoned motels and hotels and turning them into places for homeless people. Can you talk a little more on that? Yeah,
and that's a difficult one as well, man, because nobody wants the homeless people living next to them. Like, they want them off the street, but so there's a lot of pushback when it comes to the homeless community and the solutions that are presented for that. It's a situation that's growing. It's a situation that's growing as far as the need. And that's an area where honestly the government is going to have to come in and help a lot more, just because of the cost. There's just not enough. There's not enough resources for those people or whatnot. But we do what we can as far as our properties. But you see places like California, Atlanta, definitely now or whatnot. I've even seen some areas. I'm from Florida, so I've seen some areas out there in New York. I'm not really, some of the problems that they have are so like overwhelming to where I'm not sure how they're going to solve them, because the structure is not sound in that sense. Like I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's going to be a difficult problem to fix. We do what we can by repurposing, properties and working with governments and organizations that provide funding for things like that. But, the shortfall is tremendous.
So what are some of the future projects that we should be looking for coming from PUSH Ministry?
Right now, we're really focused on being able to prefabricate our structures inside of a new facility that we're working on securing. So that will help us be able to churn out projects much quicker. We'll be able to build inside of the facility, and we'll be one of the first facilities in the country to be able to do this. So that's really what we're focused on, and that'll help us keep prices low and also, build much quicker possibly as quickly as, we can really build something as quickly as about 3 months from start to finish once we're able to prefabricate in a facility.
So can you tell us again the best way to get in contact with Push Ministries if they wanted to just talk to you, get some help, get housing, get a job, whatever it is?
Just go to pushministry.org, and all of our contact and program information is on there. You can also reach out anytime. We have people available by phone pretty much 24/7. Any specific, issues that you need help with, we can either help you with that or direct you to where you can go to get help with that. But pushministry.org. And also check us out on Instagram. It's Majesty_Elise. And we put up a lot of information there as well. So yeah, just check us out.
Do you have any last words that you would like to give the viewers?
I just want to say that I'm very optimistic about the future, and everybody should be as well. It's kind of turbulent, but there's a lot of positive change that's about to come about, I believe, for our community specifically. We typically fare well in difficult situations, and, I'm excited to see what we build and what comes out of all of this. So,
one more question before you go.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that people should focus more on real life real estate or start getting more into the metaverse type real estate?
I'm not going to sit here and say that you can't make money from the metaverse and all that good stuff. But right now, I would say real estate, something you can actually touch, something you can actually live in, or someone else can live in, or something that gives you some type of physical benefit outside of just the money or whatnot. I would say get some real estate, and then you can play with the metaverse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
All right, well, that's all the questions I had for you.
Cool.
I want to say thank you for taking the time out to come and speak with me today. I don't know if you can hear me, Elise, but thank you for tapping in. I appreciate it. And definitely look forward to more from you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Congratulations on that baby again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good one.